Joe Biden has promised to reverse many of his predecessors' policies. But the leader of his incoming economic team is continuing at least one tradition of the Donald Trump White House. Economist Janet Yellen made her debut on Twitter after being chosen to be the first woman to lead the Treasury Department.
We face great challenges as a country right now. To recover, we must restore the American dream, a society where each person can rise to their potential and dream even bigger for their children. As Treasury Secretary, I will work every day towards rebuilding that dream for all.
Yellen may be new to social media, but she's a household name among investors. She was the first woman to head the U.S. Federal Reserve. And in that role from 2014 to 2018, she helped steer the world's largest economy out of the 2008 financial crisis.
I think people like Janet Yellen as an idea for a new Treasury Secretary. She's a known quantity, was a pretty able set of hands in a tough moment.
Obama Foundation President Wally Adeyemo has been nominated as Yellen's deputy at the Treasury. If confirmed, he'll be the first African American to take the post. And former Hillary Clinton aide Neera Tanden has been picked to head up the White House's budget department, a first for a woman of color. They'll be part of a left-leaning team expected to promote higher levels of spending. Their focus will be on liberal priorities like education, infrastructure, and climate-friendly projects.
As we get to work to control the virus, this is the team that will deliver immediate economic relief for the American people during this economic crisis and help us build our economy back better than ever.
Bankrolling that spending will be hard given the state of government finances. The U.S. is on track to end the year with a budget deficit of more than $3 trillion, more than triple the budget shortfall from last year. U.S. government debt as a ratio of GDP is also projected to exceed 100% for the first time since the end of the Second World War. Paolo Montecillo, TRT World.
For more, let's go to Yuan Vene. She's an economics professor at George Washington University in Washington. Welcome to Money Talks. Now, the Biden administration is taking office at a time of extreme economic uncertainty. What economic measures can we expect, let's say, in the first 100 days of the administration?
Well, thank you. It's nice to be here. The first 100 days actually has a historic flavor to it. Franklin Roosevelt had his most famous 100 days with his New Deal back in the throes of the Great Depression. Biden is going to be a lot more limited than most presidents have been, unless he takes the Senate, and those two races won't be decided until January. So the real point is that without the Senate, Biden is going to be very limited. There will be small things he can do, and he has shown that he really cares about building the economy back better is his slogan. So they're now working on a smaller stimulus package, maybe about $1 trillion instead of $3 trillion. There's some regulations that he could put into place. He could probably restore some of the unemployment benefits, some of the pandemic payments. But again, without the Senate, he'll be rather limited in what he can do, even in 100 days.
Right. So we've heard reports coming out just earlier today about a $900 billion package that reportedly has bipartisan support. But what of that much larger bill that's been under discussion? Can we expect to see that being rolled out within the next few weeks?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that could be rolled out. The question is how much of that rolling out will actually become policy. And a new president does want to set the agenda, and we'll try to have, day one, we're going to have something, maybe we'll call it HR1, which has everything that we want in it. We're going to, get the pandemic payments back. We're going to do something on climate change. We're going to talk about helping shore up Social Security. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of Biden's campaign promises out there in what he starts, maybe even on day one. But again, the issue will be, can any of that pass in a Senate that may be hostile to him if it's still run by the Republicans?
Right. At the risk of beating that point, I mean, some of these policies or pledges are things like raising income tax, encouraging clean energy or clean fuels, or saving Obamacare. Those are staunchly opposed by the Republicans. What's got to be the way to get these through?
Yeah. So working backwards, Obamacare, that has been something of a conundrum for the Republicans because since it was passed more than 10 years ago, they've talked about repealing and replacing it, but they have never done so. They've had a lot of measures to say, let's repeal it, but they never have replaced it. And they did control the presidency and the Congress for the first 2 years of Trump's presidency and didn't replace it. So it's not clear how much they dislike Obamacare. There are a lot of features that they do like it, covering pre-existing conditions, allowing young people to stay on their parents' policies, and some of the subsidies that are in there. And with the mandate gone, that's of course makes it more appealing. There are some 20 million more people who have health care insurance thanks to Obamacare than they did before. And it's hard to make all those people mad. On the tax increase, there's no need to be worrying about the deficit at the moment. I know that candidate Biden did talk about raising taxes on the upper income as a way to help sort of start putting some funding back into the system. That may happen, but again, without the Senate, it's hard to say if any of that will go through. But I think there is some sense, and especially among the economists who are joining the Biden team, that income inequality has gotten a little bit more extreme than maybe is desirable. And so perhaps asking more from those at the top might be a way to sort of start to right the balance again in the tax area. So I see that perhaps raising taxes on high income will happen. There also was a measure, he talked about raising taxes to fund Social Security during the campaign, and he didn't get much pushback on that. So again, that's an area where he may be able to actually ask more from those at the tops to help people at the bottom.
And just delving a little bit more into the team, of course, we know Vice President Kamala Harris, Janet Yellen, other very accomplished women being part of this core team. What is the significance, do you think, historically also, and also in terms of course, their individual abilities and what they can do for the U.S. economy?
Well, I mean, historically, it actually is phenomenal. It's been a long time coming to get a woman at the head of Treasury. I have a PhD in economics from quite a while ago, and I had a lot of female classmates. So it's clearly time for that. I would also point out that all of these women are highly qualified. It's not because they're women that they've been chosen. You have Janet Yellen, of course, with more experience than most people in Washington. And don't forget that Biden has also chosen Princeton economist Cecilia Rouse to head up his Council of Economic Advisors, and she's an old hand in Washington as well. So these women are highly qualified. They have the top credentials, and the fact they're women really shouldn't be an issue. And I hope that this is the last time that we have to say the first woman coming through here.
Yuan Weiner, thank you so much for your insights there.